Hey guys, welcome to On My Shelf. Today I'm talking about a book written by a literary agent who shares the biggest mistakes authors make in their manuscripts when submitting them for representation. Noah Lukeman is a literary agent for Lukeman Literary in New York. His book, The First 5 Pages, A Writer's Guide to Staying Out of the Rejection Pile, was a book about all the ways authors can tweak their manuscripts to make agents take a second look. Most of what was in this book I already knew because I've been doing this for a long time and I know quite a bit about the industry. But for a writer who's maybe trying to put together their first or second submission letter, this book would be a wonderful one to read before sending that manuscript off. We only get one shot at sending our manuscript to an agent. We may as well make that a good shot. Lukeman writes in a very casual, conversational voice. He used each chapter to highlight one mistake that authors make in their manuscripts. Mistakes included things like sound, being aware of how your sentences flow and how they sound when you read aloud, choosing the right viewpoint and how to go about deciding that important element, and several chapters on dialogue and how to write it well, among many others. He provided a great summary of what, in particular, agents look for in their submissions, and, consequently, highlighted all the elements that will improve your manuscript whether or not you're looking for an agent. What I liked most about this book is that it was short and to the point. Lukeman includes some examples, which toward the end I skipped because as an editor they were incredibly obvious to me, but they would be invaluable for someone who doesn't really know what good sound sounds like. Lukeman dedicated a whole chapter to the art of subtlety in writing, and I remember a while back having an argument with my husband about some subtlety I left in my writing, because I employ this technique very intentionally and often in my stories. I trust that my readers can fill in the blanks, and also, I'm a poet first, and poets have a natural bend towards subtlety. My husband thought I needed to spell something out a bit more clearly because he thought I was giving my readers too much credit. Lukeman, though, says less is more. In specific, he says, don't spell anything out, overexploit, or be blatant and obvious. So, I won that argument. Like I said, I knew most of what Lukeman had to say in his book, but research has shown that you put into practice what you hear repeated about 7 times. So I'm sure that these tips will float around in my subconscious as I'm writing stories, and that will, in turn, make me a better intuitive writer. Even if you've already heard it all before, I hope you'll check out the first 5 pages and continue learning as a writer. Be sure to visit racheltolson.com to see some of my best writing resources. For more on my shelf, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.